lot of you didn't know that I am a beekeeper because I don't get enough excitement and pain in my normal day as an insurance agent. So I have quite a few hives out here and just collected a bunch of honey for the summer. I may or may not open up the hive here. It's contingent upon my nephew Jason Gordon and his ability to film without getting stung because he didn't want to put a suit on. So we might get to that at the end. I want to talk about powers of attorney. It's one of the legal documents that insurance agents work with frequently and probably know nothing about. So this video is going to be a little bit long and it should be extremely helpful. The one thing about powers of attorney is that agents don't realize there's not such thing as just like one power of attorney. It's not like one document, you know, like a legal deed to your house. Actually, that's a bad example because there's warranty deeds and joint transfer. There's a whole bunch of different deeds to your house too. But for a power of attorney, there's lots of different types. So you could have a general power of attorney, which is what I think most people are familiar with. And a general power of attorney means I voluntarily give, let's say I give it to my son, power of attorney to do anything that I could do. Now, the power of attorney has to be given. It can't be taken. He can't go to an attorney and get power of attorney over me. I have to voluntarily give it away. In most states, you don't need an attorney. You can get a document, has to be witnessed and notarized. And they're starting to get a little bit upset here. I have to voluntarily give it away while I have mental capacity to do so. So that's a common question working with seniors. Is you go into an appointment and you start to feel like the client really doesn't have the mental capacity to work with you, then you ask, does anyone have a power of attorney? And your client might say no. It's too late in most cases at that time for you to call the daughter and say, hey, you need to go get a power of attorney, because you have to have mental capacity to give it. Otherwise, the child needs to go to court and you have to get a guardianship. So that, of course, takes more time and costs more money. So somebody already has dementia, they don't have mental capacity, they do not have the ability at that point to sign a power of attorney. They have to do it before they have problems. There's many different types of power of attorney. So like I said, a general power of attorney, you might give and say, hey, you can do anything for me. I'm going to be out of town, or I'm going to, live at the vacation house. Or you could say, I'm going to give you power of attorney to close on my house. I want you to sell my house and I'm moving to Florida. I'm out of here. The power of attorney is very specific and it's only for that one purpose. Now, let's say in that scenario, that client calls you and says, yeah, my mom's 85 and I have power of attorney and I'd like to change her health insurance. You as an insurance agent, you're like, okay, they said they have power of attorney. You don't have the ability to inspect that power of attorney. You don't know what to look for. You're not an attorney. You're not going to ask an attorney. So most insurance agents are going to say, okay, you have power of attorney. You might look at it. It says power of attorney at the top. That's good enough for you. And you go ahead and you let that client change his mother's insurance. Now, his mother finds out and she calls you and says, you are in a lot of trouble. What the heck did you just do? My son doesn't have the ability to change my health insurance. He has power of attorney for the specific reason of selling my house. Okay, so that's a problem. Now, the insurance companies no longer ask for a copy of that power of attorney, which they should, and they have the ability to do so. Generally, they don't, but they are the ones with the legal department that could inspect that power of attorney to make sure that it is valid. That's beyond the scope of your ability as an insurance agent. There are durable power of attorneys, and durable means that it will last past the person's incapacity. If you get or give power of attorney, it terminates when you lose your mental capacity. If you have a durable power of attorney, it will last until you die, even through sickness, dementia. So if someone just has a general power of attorney and they now have dementia, you do not have the ability to change their insurance. It needed to be a durable power of attorney, or could be a springing power of attorney that only springs into effect if they become mentally incapacitated. Of course, power of attorney does terminate upon death, so it doesn't have any bearing at all after death. That's really beyond the scope of your dealings anyway, but some of this I'm just telling you guys because you might use it not just as an insurance agent, but just in your own life with your own parents, grandparents, and your own children.